Welcome to Pure Picks. This is Gerard, and today we're going to be doing my most confident picks for UFC 305. Now, before we do that, let's recap UFC Abu Dhabi real quick. And what can I say? Today, last week, we were in the green. A lot of green here. James had the Mackenzie Dern pick. Money line. We both had the Shara Magomedov and Azmat 2-leg parlay for 2 units, plus 102 there. A lot of W's here. Over 2.5s all hit for Davis and Figueiredo, Mackenzie Dern, and Sam Hughes and Dudakova fight. All of those went to decisions. We did a 3-leg parlay. That one hit at plus 119. We did another riskier 3-leg parlay that possibly not have hit, but we had Dumas to win, Cowie Fernandez, and Guram Kutaladze. All 3 of them hit plus 159. And unfortunately, my best bet, the under 1.5, did not hit for Shara and Olechechek, which was the only L that we had there. And we paired that with Figueiredo to win. It would have been plus 248, but it was a riskier play in these 2 picks here. But luckily, that was our only loss. And our final 3-leg parlay, we got Azmat Murzakanov, Shara Magomedov, and Umar Nurmagomedov. 3-leg parlay plus 164. That one also hit. So for UFC Fight Night, Sandhagen, Nurmagomedov, we're at a 94% ROI. Not too shabby. This is the bounce back week. Back in the green. And as for our record so far, our stats, right now we're 12% ROI since November. Our straight picks have been hitting 20%. And our parlays have been hitting 16%. Not too good on the props, but overall, we've been doing well since November. So let's get into UFC 305. I got a few picks here, but first off, my most confident pick is going to be give me Jack Jenkins by KO. Now for my second most confident pick. All right, for Jack Jenkins and Herbert Burns. There's not too much to say here. Jack Jenkins, he's solid overall everywhere, and he's going to be punishing with the strikes and those leg kicks, and he can even grapple himself. He can use some of that wrestling. He got injured his last fight against Chepe, freak accident and freak injury, so he's coming to bounce back here on us in Australia against Herbert Burns, who they call him the Blaze, but he just fizzles out. And yeah, I don't think Herbert Burns is going to make it to a decision here. He's been getting finished KOs, TKO, and yeah, give me Jack by KO. Now on to my second most confident pick. Give me Josh Culibao, Kuya, the Filipino. I'm a little biased here. I'm Filipino myself, but in this matchup, I think Culibao, he could just fight on the outside, win a clean stand-up fight if it ends up being that way. He's quick to jump on those opportunities to find finishes or just piece up his opponent. But he does have a weakness where he can be slowed down with constant overall pressure and a grappling advantage on his opponents. So that's something to look at. But he's facing a guy who just fights wild, and it leads him to mistakes. He's kind of a highlight fighter where he's the one getting the highlight in his fights, or his opponents are getting the highlight in his fights. And like I said, I mean, he fights kind of reckless, and he he feels like a flaky fighter to me. Like he just gets finished or he gives up, he gets subbed. And that's something that you're not really going to see with Josh Culibao. I mean, Culibao, he fights through adversity, even when he's constantly being pressured or grappled. And he's more defensively responsible of the two in this fight. So Josh Culibao is the one I'm leaning with here. They're both coming off 2 losses. And I think Culibao's just been fighting the more the better fighters. And he hasn't looked as bad against those better fighters, aside from Jalen Turner, which was at a higher weight class. So I want to say Culibao by decision, but Ramos kind of scares me in that he puts himself in those awkward, bad positions to get finished. So I'm going to say Culibao by decision, but I'm a little hesitant there. Now, on to my third most confident pick. This can be a little antsy, but I'm gonna just go with it. I'm going with Carlos Prates. I'm rocking with the fighting nerds again. We've been doing really good with the fighting nerds. The last fighting nerd that won was Bruno Brazil, but that didn't make our best bets. And yeah, they've just been looking good in that camp. I mean, they got Kyle Barrio and John Silva. They've been looking good. And now we got Carlos Prates also coming out of the fighting nerds. I mean, this guy just reminds me of the prototypical boogeyman in this division. He's kind of a dangerous sniper. He's very long, lanky, and he can really just finish a fight on the end of his strikes. And against Zheng Liang Li, I think Lee is just a hard-nosed vet with experience. This can make it tough on Prates. He's faced a lot of higher level opponents. And Lee is coming off of a long layoff, which can be something in concern because he is 36 years old now. He is solid everywhere, but he does prefer to strike. And I think this fight will be mostly in the striking realm. And this feels a little too dangerous for Lee as his first fight coming back from a long layoff. I think he can really make this a hard fight, even to push Prates to a decision, maybe. But I think I might be chewing on my words here. And I'm going to say I'm taking Prates by KO. He's, I'm going to, he's going to hand Zheng Liang Li his first KO TKO of his career. And yeah, that's what I'm rocking with as my third confident bet there. Yeah, those are my 3 confident bets. Jack Jenkins, Josh Culibao, and Carlos Prates. Now, as for the main event on this card, I'm not going to have a confident bet or confident pick on this main event yet. Adesanya versus Dricus. I think Adesanya, he's just got to get Dricus's respect in the striking and his feints early in the fight. He's got to piece him up early like Sean Strickland and just have those tight strikes. No wide looping things, no wide hooks. He's just got to keep it tight, mix up his feints, use his legs much better, use his kicks much better, and not back up so much. He should use his teep kicks much more, but Dricus may use that to try to take him down if he throws any high kicks. So I think Dricus is going to be just very powerful with the pressure and his blitzes. I mean, and he's super durable too, so he could probably eat some shots. I think Dricus is just gotta just not let off that pressure and just take Adesanya down when he can. And the way I see this fight playing out, it's either going to go two ways. I think if Adesanya doesn't demand that respect early, I mean, Dricus may just run him over with blitzes and takedowns and just win and make Adesanya his first defense. Or I think Adesanya should be prepared for the pressure this time. And he was originally, before the Sean Strickland fight, he was preparing for Dricus before Dricus had to pull out. So he's been preparing for Dricus for a while now, and I think he should be much prepared for this fight than the Sean Strickland fight. And I think Adesanya should just have his counters and setups ready for catching Dricus and just demand that respect early, man. I mean, I think he can really change some people's minds if he's able to like just keep Dricus off of him early in the fight and just keep him honest with nice jabs and straights and teep kicks and kicks. But I mean, it's hard to go against a champion right now. He has the momentum. He's on a winning streak. Adesanya has been up and down the past couple years or so. So for now, I'm gonna say dog or pass. But later on, maybe next week, we'll have some analysis there with James and Alex, and especially the pure pickers on Discord. And yeah, you can join and become a member at purepicks.gg. And if you enjoy these videos, smash subscribe, hit the like. It really helps us out. Let's keep this streak going.